Hey, what is going on, everybody? Sorry for that weird ass blink like this. It is October 18th, 2015. This is Mr. KB. Number two. Number two, the San Francisco 49ers have won their second game of the season against the Baltimore Ravens by a score of 25-20. I have to confess, I didn't watch this game. I was over at a buddy's house with other friends, and we ended up watching the Packers Chargers games while drinking beers, eating cookies, and eating pizza. And it was good times to be had. I was keeping track of the game on my phone. So they'd see the highlights that would break in between the game that we did watch. And I came home, saw a couple highlights, talked to my son because he watched it. And so I'm going to try to give you not my in-depth analysis, because honestly, I don't have any depth to me when it comes to analysis. But 2-4 in a division that has kind of been turned a little bit upside down, the NFC West, because a lot of teams actually winded up losing today. So, okay, so let's start off with the win. They got to win. Great. But that is going to come with a little bit with a grain of salt, seeing as this team beat the Ravens, a team that really they should have beat by a lot more. The defense for the Ravens is not there. Let's be honest. The Ravens of today are not the Ravens of old, just as the Niners of today are not of the Niners of old, and especially far removed from, both teams are far removed from the Super Bowl from 2013 or 2012, whenever it is that they played together. So both teams are away from that. Niners won this time in a game that honestly mattered more in the season, but not as much as the Super Bowl, obviously. Colin Kaepernick had a good showing. I believe his QBR was 128.5. He threw for over 300 yards, had a few touchdowns. So he had a good showing. But again, from beating a team that is not what it once was. But we will take the good. Watching the highlights, some of the things that I do have to say is that Phil Dawson did score 4 field goals. Some of them from short yardage, 26 and 31, meaning they were at the red zone, if not pretty close to the red zone. And those are the things that are going to bite us in the butt. Will bite the Niners in the butt if they can't change it. That has been a big thing for them for the last maybe 5 or 6 years. They get to the red zone and they cannot finish plays. Steve Smith Sr. had a drop pass for a touchdown very early in the second quarter, around midway through the second quarter, that would have made it 7-6 had he caught it. Now, if you think about it, they lost by 5. If he catches that, that changes the whole dynamic of the game. Maybe they still lose by a point, or maybe they win by a point if Steve Smith catches that. Whereas if you take 2 of Phil Dawson's 4 kicks from short yardage and turn at least one of them into a touchdown, then that Steve Smith catch, even if he makes it, doesn't even matter. And that's something they need to clean up. Look, I love Phil Dawson. I'm glad that's why you have a kicker. But a kicker on a successful team should be going 2 for 2. And those are from like 40 yards plus, in my opinion. If you want to have a Super Bowl quality caliber team, your kicker should be averaging 2 kicks a game. And the kicks that he makes in a win should be from 40 plus yards, or maybe even 35 plus yards. Again, just my opinion. Again, if you turn one of those 2 into a touchdown, they're averaging, they're scoring 30 points this game, and then it doesn't matter if Steve Smith catches it, they're still 2 scores away. Right here, they were within 1, and it ended with a Hail Mary that got batted down. So that's something they need to actually clean up. Kaepernick, again, he played good, which is good to see, but the rushing yards, they only had 65 yards rushing according to the stats here that I'm seeing on ESPN. They had 25 rush attempts and only had 65 yards rushing. That needs to be heightened against, especially this team. I know that they're still fairly good against the rush and the Ravens, fairly good. And it was good that they were able to take advantage of the secondary, which seems to just have given up all the yards for the Ravens, which helped the Niners win. But there needs to be more balance here. They had a little thing, I believe, a little bit more balance in last week's loss against the Giants, and that's something they need to strive for every week. And again, sometimes it's not going to work out, and they won, so it's cool. but it's something that they need to get going, something that they need to find a way to take advantage of, even if against a tough team. They need to find a way to get up to that century mark rushing, that 100 yards rushing. It didn't seem to matter because a lot of the passes were play action and they seemed to go for a lot. So all in all, I'm happy. It's good. If we're looking at the stats here, Arizona lost today to the Steelers. I believe the Rams had a bye week this week. Seattle lost, so that's always a big, yes. Seattle lost to the Panthers, and the Niners won. So currently in the West, we're looking at Arizona at 4-2, the Rams at 2-3, and both the Seahawks and Niners, who play on Thursday, this Thursday in 4 days, at 2-4, which is last. The loser of Thursday's game will be last in the Western Division. So if the Niners had won last week and we didn't get the heartbreaking loss, they'd be at 3-3. They'd be in second place and they'd be one game back of winning the division. So last week I said that I had that hope that there would be that crazy optimism. and it's coming. If the Niners can win on Thursday, they would be 1-1 in conference, not division. Sorry, in conference they'd be 1-1. Well, they're currently 1-1. No, they're not. No, sorry. In conference they'd be 1-1 because they're division. What the fuck am I talking about? In division, I'm sorry. Totally just tripping out right now. Okay. In division, in the Western Division, they are 0-1. They would be 1-1. And they would still have 4 division games left. So meaning if they won all 5 of their division games, if they played them right now back to back to back, they'd be 5 plus they'd be 7-4, which is 11 games with 5 games out of division, and they would have to win like 2 of those, and they'd be in a good spot. I don't see them winning all 5, so they're gonna have to pick up those wins somewhere else. I do believe they can beat the Seahawks because the Seahawks seem to be in more turbulent waters than the Niners. I mean, I think overall, maybe the Seahawks are on paper a better team, but I don't know how a team that's gone to the Super Bowl the last 2 years is all of a sudden 2-4, and they just can't seem to find their rhythm. So there's hope. There's hope. There's hope. Arizona's still young. I think they are the favorites. I still think they're the favorites. I still think that team is really dangerous, especially if Carson Palmer can stay healthy throughout the whole season. And they're still my odds-on favorite to win the division, just being realistic. But if Arizona's youth can mentally catch up with them, and the Seahawks stay in troubled waters, the Rams are high energy, but also young without, I don't think, the veteran experience that they need. They're very chippy. They're very hungry, and that can get you far. But when you're, looking down at trouble at game 12, game 13, can they keep it together? So that is the one thing that Frisco kind of has going for it, is that they do have a lot of veteran, mentally tough people on that team, including their head coach. So they do have the mental edge over, I'm going to say, the 3 teams in our division. So I'm going to stay with this whole delirium. I don't think they're making it to the playoffs. I want them to make it to the playoffs. I don't think that they are if they can't win the division. But like I said, I mean, they could be 3-3 right now. 1 game out with a chance, with the better chance. So they're not in a terrible spot to sneak in. Now, do I think they're Super Bowl caliber? No, I want to see them in the Super Bowl. It'd be great to see the Niners in the Super Bowl for Levi Stadiums. It would be amazing. It would be awesome. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be amazing. And that's where I want that delusional to, just kind of stay there. Like, if they sneak into the playoffs, I'll be like, well, they have a shot. They don't have to finish first seed. They don't have to even play a home game until they reach the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? How many teams have finished, like seed 6? The Giants was one of them that beat the undefeated Patriots. I believe they were a wild card team. They went in, won. I believe the first time the Ravens won the Super Bowl, they were a wild card team. So, I mean, things are possible. Things are possible. But I think that's pretty much all I really have for today. I know it's been kind of long. It's a stupid long video. I like to talk. What can I say? Thank you guys for being patient when I talk. And I see people who watch my videos like, hey, look, I got like 11 views, and this is probably the same 11 people. But I love your faces, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, I mean, if they can win Thursday, I think Thursday will be the turning point. I honestly do believe Thursday will be the turning point. If they can beat the Seahawks, they'll be 3-4, right? Depending on what happens with Arizona, they could be still 2 games back or 1 game back, coming off a big divisional win. They'll have 10 days of rest between that Thursday game and their next Sunday game, so they'll be rested for that game. And man, they can get some wins in the division. I mean, if they can sweep the Rams, or if they can sweep one of the 2 teams between the Rams and the Seahawks, sweep one of them 2, split the wins with the Rams and the Cardinals, and then get some of the wins and out of division games, out of conference games. I don't know, man. It's possible. It's possible. I said it week 1 that I think if they kept that high energy, that they'd be Super Bowl caliber. I'm going to go away from that bold prediction, but I still think they have the talent, the energy, and the mental fortitude. If they can keep that intact, because I mean, obviously they won after the heartbreaker from New York. If they can keep that intact through the whole season, they could sneak in and get a wild card spot. Or they could even sneak a division win and win the West. How crazy would that be? How crazy would that be? How hyped would you get for a team that all the experts are saying are bottom of the barrel, the worst team in the NFL right now? If they can prove all of them wrong and get into the playoffs. I'm just saying that type of like cuckoo thinking is what is getting me excited even more that the Niners have a shot at actually going to the playoffs. And once the playoffs start, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I'm getting excited. I know they're 2-4, but still, there's possibilities and there's weird crap going in my mind, and maybe none of it makes sense. But man, it's exciting. It's exciting. My heart is going. They can kind of probably sneak in. But yeah, everybody, root really hard for a Thursday victory, and that could be the turning point. If they get that win, whoo, man, the possibilities are there that we can see our team in the in the postseason, and whoo, yeah. All right, y'all. So this video is already too long. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. And go Niners all day, every day, baby. You know how we roll, baby. Support our squad. See you guys on Thursday, and hopefully I will be seeing you very, very happy. All right, everybody. Bye.